Greetings, folks. Welcome back to my shop, Dave Aschenbrenner, Legendary Motorcycles. Today we're going to show you about a little project that I have been working on here, and how I got to the shape, the nomenclature of this Yamaha RD350 racing bike tank. And the customer sent me the fiberglass version that came on the bike. Of course, it's been coated on the inside because of the ethanol has kind of been eating at it for years, and giant flakes on the inside of it. And there's just no way to repair it without disassembling it and going through a lot of mess, and then you still don't have a good tank when it's done. So he gave me this, and I laser scanned it. Then we brought up, we did this one a little different. We brought up the shape in my 3D CAD program, and we brought a generic shape up into this until it came to the surface of this, manipulated the wireframe of it, and then we, this time, 3D printed a buck, a female buck I'm going to call it. The female buck was right along these lines. It tapered a little bit toward the back, and we were able to pound into that buck both sides, both surfaces on the side. And it wasn't without its, this is the first time we did that with 3D printed material, and it wasn't without its challenges, but we got it right, and we have a new way of doing this now. So it's very accurate, and it doesn't involve any CNC machines other than the printer, and it uses a lot less material. Of course, the 3D plastic that it used was probably comparable in cost to the materials that I normally use when I do it the typical way. But this is the tank, and the customer wanted it exactly like this, and I had to discuss the fact that these standing flanges here are something that's required when they have a fiberglass tank. You need a flange, and that's where the panels, the bottom panel in this case and the top panel, have to glue into each other. That's how they assemble this tank. So we did it without the flanges. Took all our measurements without the flanges and made allowances for it and everything for that. So this is what we ended up with. This is the aluminum version of that. This is nice and flat along the bottom. The welds are in the corners on here rather than the standing flanges on it. And it's always a challenge when you're doing a body part. Anybody that shapes metal will tell you this. If you do a body part and you want it flat, absolutely flat, by the time you're doing any aluminum work and then you weld it, there's going to be some kind of warpage, or I call it oil canning, when if you've got a flat surface on a tank and you put gas in it, it'll come out or flex that side of the panel. So you've always got to put a little bit of crown on even the flat parts. You got to run these on the English wheel there to give it that integrity. And of course the top, this is a little flatter than this is on the top, but we didn't want that. This also, like an arch, an eggshell, whatever, gives it strength. You can't push in. You can push in on a flat surface, but you can't push in on an arched surface or an arced surface. So we kind of took artistic liberty there, just a little bit of it. And this tank is very authentically shaped. We're real happy with it. Customer was sent photographs of it. He's very happy with it, and that's how we do it. Now I'm going to take you in the CAD room. I'm going to show you there is a lot more work to this than what meets the eye, and we're just talking about the little 2D panels to make up the bottom. You could do this with paper templates, and you could screw around with this, but you still wouldn't have the accuracy of it. So we drew this all out in CAD because we had the 3D CAD model of the upper part of it, we were able to extrapolate the shapes of the bottom pieces and this front riser right here where the neck goes through on this one. So we're gonna go into the CAD room, show you how that works. Well, here we are back in the CAD room in my office, and this is the Yamaha tank profile on the bottom. We pulled these off the 3D, and you'll see the sketch over here. And we also took some photographs of the original tank to kind of get to the design over here, and gave us a little bit of a challenge tracing this stuff out, but that we couldn't do in 3D. And this is actually the piece that I made. This is the piece that I made from that, the pattern. I took the pattern and I tried it out. I actually tested it out in the tunnel of the original tank, and then I redrew it according to this picture wherever it needed to be longer or shorter. You can see a little offset line around it here where it needed to be a little bit bigger. So the outer part is the cut line, and that enabled me to trim. It gave me a little extra material to trim, so I was able to fit that inside the tank, and the rest is history. We'll see you back out in the shop. All right, I hope that helps you to understand all of the work and technical prowess that goes into making a tank like this, or any other tank for that matter. We make a generic tank with a generic bottom on it. Those are real easy to make, but anytime you're doing anything custom, this is what we want to end up with. Those are the steps you have to go through. There's just no two ways around it. So I appreciate you guys coming out to my shop again. I hope to see you next time. We'll have a lot more tanks to talk about. I got a whole list of orders that just came in here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again. Cheers. This is Dave Aschenbrenner, Legendary Motorcyclist. Thank you.